In this video, I will show you how to create learning objectives for Maker concepts that you will later combine with learning objectives for academic concepts. This will support the overall objectives of your Maker projects. What is the purpose of a learning objective? Having a clear learning objective enhances the success of learning. A learning objective helps guide teacher planning and student learning. We are going to use 3 steps to narrow down the topic and create a learning objective. The first step is to choose a Maker concept. Because we do not yet have a set of Maker-based learning standards or objectives, we need to look to how making is used in the real world to discover the concepts we want to teach. If you recall, making centers around practical skills to create and invent, but that is very broad. Here are some examples of some of the concepts involved in real-world making: engineering, crafting, coding and programming, prototyping, designing, working with different materials, communicating and understanding plans, learning new tools and software efficiently, and working in a community. These are some examples of concepts you can start with when designing your Maker learning objective. You may also reach out to people in the real world or research online and see how people use making concepts. You might also make as well. Your own interests are a great place to start. What concepts do you use when you are creating? And finally, you can also tap into student interests. Talk with students to find out how they create or what they want to create. You should be able to choose one concept, no broader than the examples I provided. For the sake of providing examples, let's say that I'm really interested in programming or coding. In step 2, we are going to narrow the concept down to overarching skills or understandings. Each of these concepts has a wide variety of specific skills involved, as well as overarching skills. For example, in programming, there are many different languages, platforms, and processes. You would never be able to teach all of those, but there are also some overarching skills that are useful no matter what you are programming. For example, programmers need to be able to use logic, troubleshoot problems, or keep their work and codes manageable. When creating an objective, narrowing down to an overarching skill in a particular concept will give us a good scope to work with. So answer the question, what are some of the important overarching skills in this concept? Try to pick a skill that can fit within the scope of your project. And remember, you will need to both teach and assess this skill, so start small. Let's look at our example. If I want to integrate the concept of programming, I'm not going to decide that students will make a mobile app. That is well beyond the scope of my project and my resources. But let's say that I want to focus on the skill of creating the logical steps that a computer program would follow to accomplish something or solve a task. This is a foundational skill in programming and robotics. A programmer cannot create their own program if they cannot define the logical steps it will follow. So it is a real skill, and it is something I think I could actually do in my project. Step 3 is to write the objective. This is where we define what we expect students to learn. It needs to be specific, and it needs to be measurable. When you write your objective, try to include these 3 parts: a measurable verb, the situation students will apply their knowledge, and the criteria for success. Here's an example. Students will create a chart of logical steps that accurately demonstrates the path of a program to solve a problem. So remember, the basic steps to creating a Maker learning objective are to choose a concept, narrow to a skill or understanding, and write your objective. Finally, review the objective and go get feedback from your colleagues. Join us in the next video, which will cover how to combine your learning objectives into a solid driving question.